We are live. We are live, folks, in the Facebook group, Six Figure House Flipper. We are live on the air here. Today we have a special guest, so I'm very excited about this one. We're going to be talking about 3 steps to 3 deals in 60 days. So I know a lot of people, typically the folks ask for like 2 things, like how do I get the money? How do I get the deals? So today we're covering number 2, like how do you get the deals? And people, especially if you want to hit 6 figures, you have to have consistent deals. It's not just one deal a year. You got to do deal after deal after deal to hit that. So that's what we're going to be covering here. So very excited here. If you're watching on the live, comment #live. If you're watching on the replay, comment #replay, just so the Facebook algorithm picks this up and everyone can see it, everyone can benefit and help each other out. So we're in there. So without further ado, I want to introduce Chad here. He's an expert real estate investor. He's been doing this for almost like a decade. He's done a lot of things. He's done seller finance, rentals, flips. He's done everything under the sun, and he's extremely experienced when it comes to real estate. And rentals, really want to share his story, share these 3 steps. So how are you doing, Chad?
I'm doing good. Thanks, Victor, for having me on here. I was just getting our Facebook live broadcast up on screen here so I can keep an eye on the comments too. So, yeah, I think you said I've been doing this for about a decade. I think I started real estate investing in 2013.
Okay.
And that was really, I guess, not my official start to real estate flipping. My first house I bought was a fixer-upper, and it was kind of by accident. I guess I flipped my first house I bought for myself to move into, and that was back in, I think, 2002 or 2003, which was what's that, almost 20 years ago. So yeah, but I think that for me, I never really enjoyed the knocking on doors and cold calling. Nothing wrong with it if that's what you like doing. Don't really like working with wholesalers or realtors to find my deals. I mean, that works, but I know that probably you'd probably see this too, with inventory at all-time lows on the MLS. It's probably getting really difficult to find properties that other investors aren't outbidding you on, or even properties to make offers on that are listed by other agents. And unless you have maybe a relationship with agents that have pocket listings that just spoon feed you deals, that would be great. But for me, I prefer to work directly with the sellers. I kind of like the process. I like meeting with them, building rapport, and going through the process and really helping them solve their problems. And then I find that I can make the best deals that way too, because there's nobody in the middle trying to get me to pay more. I can just work directly with the seller on whatever works for them.
Yeah, for sure. And I've seen that too. Like people talk about like on market versus off market, and like off market's where it's at. So if you can find and source sellers directly, motivate sellers and reach out to them, and there's no middleman, I mean, that's the best setup. So I 100% agree with you there. And like you were telling me, like you've done deals like 30K, 50K, 100K plus, like flips, and that's pretty unheard of. Like especially if you're sourcing deals on your MLS, like it's not going to happen to have deal spreads that big. Like if it's just way too competitive to have that sort of deal spread. So that's why I'm excited to share these 3 steps with everyone, and like how how folks can get their own deals and get 3 deals in 60 days. That's pretty much 6 figures. So exciting stuff.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could definitely hit 6 figures by doing this pretty easily. I know we're in the 6-figure house flipping group. That's I guess the goal, right?
That's it.
So yeah, I'm having a little trouble. Let me get my slides straightened out there.
Yeah, let's get into it here.
So I've got it over here. I want it over here so I can kind of I don't know. Let's see what's going on. When I push share, it switched monitors on me. So let me see if I can get that to move over where we actually want it. Or I guess I can just sit here like this. So let me just go ahead and share my screen, right? Do I have permission for that, or how's that work?
You should be good to go.
Okay. Share the screen. And we'll be going here. So, all right, looks like we got the slides going here. So here they are. Can you see them?
Yes. 3 steps to 3 deals in 60 days. Yep.
Great. All right, cool. Yeah. So this presentation is what I titled the 3 steps to 3 deals in 60 days. And what the reason for the title of this is, for one, I guess it gets a lot of people excited. A lot of investors would like to have 3 deals in 60 days. Some of them aren't getting that many. Some are doing more, but some folks would just like to have 1 deal in 60 days. And the reason why I came up with this title is because it's actually based on a case study of somebody that I work with, one of my investors I help out, and he he actually was able to get 3 deals in 60 days following my marketing training and advice, and really coaching with him and getting things set up. So that's why we called it that. So any questions about that, Victor?
No, I like it. It's catchy, and that's life-changing for a lot of people.
Yeah. So here's the truth about it. The odds are almost 50-1 against you finding deals on the MLS. So what I hear, and it's probably even, maybe even not even as good as this now, but a lot of investors, if they make offers on the MLS, they might make 50 offers to get 1 deal. So there are real estate educators out there that teach investors to do that. It's like, well, find properties that have keywords in them like handyman special, fixer upper, things like that, and make offers on those without going and seeing them. And then once your offers get accepted, then go look at the property and then renegotiate if you need to. But by doing it that way, you're kind of like just throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping something sticks. Eventually, maybe something does. But I don't know about you, but I really don't like paperwork. And when I think of having to do paperwork for 50 different times to get 1 deal, that's too much paperwork for me. I'd rather just do paperwork when I know I've got a deal. So we'll move through. Networking for deals can take around 250 hours per deal. So like if you're gonna go out and do driving for dollars and knocking on doors and maybe meeting with wholesalers at RIA groups and looking at properties that way, I've even ran the numbers on some of that, and some of the investors I've talked to who are getting their deals this way, they're successful at this, are spending around maybe up to 250 hours just to get 1 deal.
That's crazy. Wow.
A lot of time, right? So the question becomes, why did you get into real estate in the first place? Was it to, how is that how you wanted to spend your time, like going door knocking, walking door to door, knocking on strangers' doors, or going through the phone book and going down to A to Z, cold calling like it's 1980, and you got your old rotary phone out dialing that way. I mean, this is 2021. Why are we marketing like it's 1980, right? So we used to get real excited when the white pages would show up on our door, because now you have a new phone book, you have all the new company ads and things you need to call, but people don't really use that anymore. So cold calling is a little bit out the window. And do you want to chase sellers, begging them to buy properties or to buy their property, or would you rather have sellers chasing after you? And like Justin here is somebody I was working with, and he'll just tell you about kind of how the process changed for him when we started working together as well. So
we've probably in the last, from Wednesday to Monday of this last week, we signed 3 contracts. And we had been working one of those leads for, was it May now? 2.5 months we were working it, and we finally landed that one. So yesterday, we actually got to the point where yesterday, I actually had to turn down somebody that I'd previously given an offer to. So I kind of gave it, I got pretty aggressive on it because we didn't really have anything at the time, but it would have been, I think, 18 or 20,000 bucks on a pretty quick flip. And we would talk about him, and he'd be like, man, that Chad guy in Kansas City, man, he's just killing it. And he's doing this stuff different than the way they teach it, but it's working. So who the hell cares how they teach it? If it works, let's do it, And so when we kept following him, we're like, man, at some point we got to meet this guy. And then he starts doing these videos. Oh yeah, I'm going to start doing this marketing. And we're like, oh, no brainer, man. We gotta hitch our wagon to this guy. It seemed like for the longest time it was like I was almost begging people, like, oh, please sell me your house. I really want your house. And now it's like this person I turned away yesterday, man, it felt so good. On one hand, I walked away from some potential money, but it's like you were begging me, like they were trying to talk me into like they were like, well, we'll pay for this, we'll fix that. Maybe we'll give you they offer me a gift card to Home Depot for some appliances. And I was like, and they knew that I was already lower than the guy that they were wanting to sell to. So I thought, man, this feels so awesome. Like they are basically coming to me as opposed to me going after them.
What do you think of that, Victor?
That's great. I like the dynamic, because it does sometimes feel like that, like you're chasing folks down, and that's how you get a deal. Just like through pure effort, pure sheer effort, like you get a deal. Versus it sounds like you're able to flip the script somehow. I don't know how you're able to do it, but pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah. So I can get through this slide here. Okay. And so listed properties and auctions, they're highly competitive, leading to inflated prices on distressed properties. And, why is that? The reason why the agents and sellers are always telling their sellers, agents are always telling their sellers to hold out for the highest and best price. So, they want to get the most for their seller. So when you're working with a listed property and agent, so a lot of times the price could go up because they might. Have you ever had that happen, Victor, where maybe the house sold for more than what they're asking for?
Yeah, that's happened a ton, especially recently.
Yeah. So like the agent will put the property up for sale. You'll go look at it and they'll be like, oh, we're asking 90,000 for it. And then, they show it to 50 other investors or however many, and they get offers, they get multiple offers. And they're like, okay, well, instead of 90, well, now somebody else is offering more. So what's your highest and best?
Yeah.
And then, I mean, that to me, I really don't like to be the one that wins because I paid the most, it's not really winning when you have to pay too much to get a house.
Yeah. Well, especially if the numbers don't make sense, I see that a lot on these MLS deals.
Yeah. So like, Have you ever had that? Like I had agents bring me deals before where they're like, oh, it's a great deal. Like, all we need is $100,000 for it. And I'm like, okay. And how much could I sell it for after I fix it up? Well, probably like 130. I'm like, okay, how much work's it going to take to get it done? Oh, probably like $20,000. I'm like, okay. So she's like, so you can make $10,000. I'm like, well, wait a minute. Don't I have to pay like an agent to sell the house for me? Like put it on the market and like, they're going to charge me commission, right? And then don't I have to like pay the taxes and utilities and mow the property, and pay for the gas and electric and water and then interest when I pay my lender? Like, you really think there'll be anything left? It sounds like I'll lose money. But for some real estate agents, logic is that, well, if there's a $30,000 spread between what you're buying it for and what you can sell it for, then you'll make a lot of money. No, it doesn't work that way. You got to have a bigger spread than that. So no leads, no projects, leads not converting. That's a big problem that a lot of real estate investors have. And everyone wants this assembly line process, this factory process of flipping houses where you've got processes happening, the top, all the plates are spinning, and you've got a smooth process of buying, fixing, and flipping, and it's just happening one after another. You got 4 or 5 going at a time. But a lot of investors, their business is kind of broken, like this machine here. This isn't really the kind of process we want in place, kind of goofy factory process. So there's just not enough time in the day to juggle like a busy family life and your business for a lot of investors. And in order to have a successful business, if you're out there, beating the streets, knocking on doors, driving for dollars, cold calling, and working with wholesalers, agents, and auctions, I mean, you're going to spend so much time doing this that you might end up in a situation where you just really don't enjoy real estate investing because you're working 20 hours. Have you ever been in that spot, Victor, where you're like, you kind of like feel like all you do is sleep and work?
I haven't gone there luckily, but I know where you're coming from. I think I've heard a lot of people do that though. Like there was someone I know who got burnt out, and it's a shame because real estate's so lucrative. So to stop the train, to stop it just because like you don't have the right systems or don't have the right marketing or lead conversion systems, like that's too bad.
Yeah. So I know when I was kind of newer in my business, and even several times along the way, I end up what I think is, as you're building your real estate investing business, when you find success in one area, you'll basically have that area take away most of your time, and you got to figure out how to get it back. So either automate it, delegate it, or outsource. So those things that end up getting in the way are like, well, first of all, you do some marketing and your phones ring off the hook. Now you're answering a bunch of phone calls and you're just on the phone nonstop. So let's just imagine that you have a appointment with a seller and you're driving down the road to go to the seller's appointment. Your phone rings for another seller that wants to talk to you about selling you their house, but you're driving down the road. So how effectively can you really have a good conversation with that seller while you're already driving to meet with another seller? And then, let's say you get to the other seller's house and another seller calls you while you're there, but you're in a meeting with the seller already. So how can you even answer that call and talk to them and really get the next lead going? The worst thing you can really do is not answer the phone and have no voicemail. The second worst thing is probably having them go to voicemail to begin with, because nobody really wants to end up in your voicemail box when they really want help and they want to sell their house. So your hot lead just went cold because it hit your voicemail box. So that's an area, the first area where most people need to find a way out of is like even just answering calls. We need to have that automated. So, next thing, maybe you get your properties under contract, you start getting deals, and then you maybe have multiple deals going on. So managing those deals, managing the transactions, the paperwork. I think you had that issue for a little while, didn't you, Victor, where you had to bring an assistant in to help you out with some of those managing rehabs and project management and maybe utility bills and turning on gas and water and things like that. And getting
Yeah,
that stuff off.
there's a lot that goes into these flips that people don't realize. Yeah, so you got to know how to manage everything. So just like you said, if you have to do everything, then you're missing out on opportunity. Like if you have to answer the phone every time, or you can't be available, 24/7, it's just not going to happen.
Yeah. So that's a really good point. And there's probably 5 full-time jobs in a successful flipping business at scale.
Mhm.
At least 5 full-time jobs. And then you want to get to massive scale, you need more people doing the same thing at the same time. Multiple people doing the same role. But
Yeah.
if you have 5 different people, you have your accounting role, you've got your administrative role, the transaction coordinating and bookkeeping and things like that. Maybe you can put that under one. You've got the acquisitions, the buying of the properties, the marketing. You've got the managing the team, the business owner manager, and you've also got, I don't know if I mentioned project management. I probably left something out there, but there's, if you think about it, you can do all these things maybe on one project, but you start getting, 5 projects a month, and every, 2 months you have 10, and 3 months you have 15 if you haven't sold any of those yet. So managing those 5 different jobs for 15 different properties can become like a deal where you maybe work 20 hours a day and sleep 4. And you get burned out quick because you're not getting enough sleep, you're not eating well, you're not exercising, you're not drinking enough water, and you just run yourself sick. So that's what we have to avoid. We want to get ahead of that. So, and a lot of investors have, they say that lack of marketing knowledge and experience is what's really holding them back from even getting started with generating leads, so they can buy properties, get the deals that are not on the market, right? And so they just don't know where to begin. They're like not sure if they do invest in marketing that's going to work, and what types of marketing really work. And sometimes investors tell me they've tried all the marketing methods. I ask them what they've tried, and they say this. Well, what do you guess they say when I say they've tried them all?
I would guess like bandit signs. What else? They'd probably direct mail. What else? Is that it?
Not even those. I mean, a lot of them say I tried cold calling, door knocking, and driving for dollars, and that's what they consider the marketing campaigns, which to me is networking. They're not even doing marketing yet. They're just networking. Yeah. So for me, what I think real marketing is a message you put out in front of the public that gets in front of thousands of eyeballs, that gets inside their head, gets them thinking about potentially doing business with you, and maybe even convinces them to do business with you before they even meet you. And if you can get that mind shift, that shift inside of someone's mind before you meet them, then how much easier is it to get that deal put together?
That's a good point. Yeah. Like you're seen as the authority.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I may have already said, okay, so even then, I mean, let's say you do the marketing and you get the deals. Well, now what? Now you're not even sure how to raise enough money to buy all the properties. So, like, I don't know about you, Victor, but for me, I mean, I've ran out of money in real estate several times. It doesn't matter how much money you have.
Yeah.
Real estate's expensive, and it can really add up. So let's just say it doesn't matter how much money you have in the bank. You could have $1 billion in the bank, you can still run out of money in real estate, right? Because you can maybe be out buying skyscrapers and apartment buildings, and hotels, and those things are expensive as well. 2 or 3 skyscrapers, you might have spent $1 billion, or maybe.
I think the biggest thing people underestimate, like real estate's capital intensive, so the money has to come from somewhere. Doesn't necessarily have to come from you, but it has to come from somewhere. And I've had those types of things where it's like, hey, I'm just tight, where you're like either asset rich, like you have a ton of properties, not like cash poor, or you're cash rich and then asset poor. It's like there's always this trade-off. Like, and if you have a ton of money, like, okay, now I need deals. And if you have, a ton of deals, like, okay, cool, I need money. So you're always kind of chasing something. So you got to know how to play around with those levers.
Exactly. Yep. So that's not the end of the problem either, though. When you're really working through your real estate business, the next thing that you run into is things can actually get worse. So let's just say the real problem you're facing could be this. So, sellers aren't going to just call you because you started a real estate investing business. Now, I don't know about you, Victor, but sometimes I talk to people who have invested in a mentorship or coaching program, and they might have invested their life savings or a substantial amount of money, $10,000, $15,000, $30,000, $50,000. They've invested in somebody who's going to help them set up the real estate investing business, or a coaching program that's going to teach them how to build a coaching business. I think sometimes people get confused thinking that they think they bought a business that's already going to make money without them doing anything, when really what they did is they invested in the knowledge and the training so they can set up and build their own business. And there's 2 different things there, right?
Mhm.
Have you ever talked to anybody like that, Victor, where somebody thinks maybe they invested in one of these, high end coaching programs, but they think they really bought a turnkey real estate business?
I've seen that a lot, especially that they're like, oh, the mentorship is the final step. It's more like the first step or second step.
You're just getting started, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I wish it was like it's not like that. Yeah, it's you have to pay a much higher price. Like if you paid 30K, that's not to say like how much my mentorship costs or whatever, but if you paid 30K and you were able to create and get like a 6-figure business, like you'd have to pay a lot more than 30K.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it doesn't matter how much you've invested so far in your education to start your business. Without a solid marketing plan, you're just stuck like this Jeep right here. You might be stuck in the mud, right? And so that's where a lot of investors I talk to, they are, they've invested in a high-end mentorship program, but they didn't think about marketing. Like they didn't think that maybe they should have set aside the funds instead of investing in the coaching program and then the entity structure and the asset protection and then all the different things. Maybe another upgrades and upsells in these boot camps they go to. I think the first thing we need is marketing. We need leads, right? Then we don't even need to know what to do or how to flip a house until we have somebody who's interested in selling us a house.
No, spot on. You need leads first, how to convert those leads. That's what I see a lot of people. They're like, okay, well, let me get my LLC set up. Let me get my business cards. Let me get my website. It's like, whoa, wait a second. We gotta turn around this, turn around the order of these things. Like you gotta get leads and deals first, then you can figure out the rest.
Yeah, exactly. So, worst of all, okay, here's the worst case scenario potential. Well, maybe not. There could be the worst things, but this is pretty bad, right? So, worst of all, if you don't figure out soon, you might have to go back to get out of real estate investing altogether and go back to a job you hate or stay in the job you hate. So, like I know a lot of people you work with, Victor, maybe their dream is to get out of the 9-to-5 job.
Yes.
They want to escape the corporate job that they really don't enjoy. Or maybe they've already left their job and they are considering themselves, I'm a full-time real estate investor. I've never done a deal, but I don't have a job anymore. I'm doing real estate full-time. Or they've done some deals and they're just kind of stuck without leads now because the market's changed. So, two things, like either they may never get to leave that job and do real estate full-time, or maybe they have to go back to somewhere, that career they've already escaped, but they have to go back because they got to pay the bills, right? So this needs to work. This investing thing needs to work, right? Yeah. So I mean, lucky for you. I mean, there is now a solution that we have, and
good. I hope so.
the 3 steps to 3 deals in 60 days. So what we go through in that is there's systems and automation, market research and targeting, and we want to launch a marketing campaign. Those are the 3 steps right there. And this is what I did with one of our members called Trace Ryan. He came to me and he was like in a coaching program like we talked about. He had been in a few years, only did a couple deals a year. He's making about $40,000 a year off those deals, but that's not really what he got into real estate investing for. Most people make more than $40,000 at their jobs if they have a decent career. So, why would he go into real estate investing to make less? I mean, it's fun, but we need it to be better than that. So
what were those 3 steps again? So it's systems and automation is step 1. Yeah. Market research and targeting is step 2. And then step 3 is launch marketing, right? So systems automation, market research, launch marketing.
That's right. Yep.
So 3 steps. Easy. Okay, cool.
So systems and automation, one of the things we want to do is outsource all calls to a call center. So
interesting. So why?
What's that?
Why is that? Like, why would someone want to do that?
Well, I mean, like I said earlier, I mean, if you're driving down the road to a seller's appointment, you've got another call, you got one hand on the steering wheel, one hand on the cell phone. Now, how are you going to take notes and write down what they're saying? Actually ask them the right questions, right? Are you effectively going to be able to remember what they tell you when you have 30, 40, 50 leads coming in and you don't have, I mean, my memory's not that good. I don't know about you, but I can't remember every single thing everyone tells me. That's why we have CRMs, we have things like notepads, we have technology, computers. But the call center, we have call center set up where people call, when these sellers call in, they're talking to somebody who handles these kind of calls every day, talking to motivated sellers, and they ask the questions that we give them. They ask the right questions so they can take down the information and create the lead record right then and there. Next thing is we want to have an appointment scheduler set up so that when those calls come in, that those sellers have an appointment booked with you to go meet with them and look at the property right away. And so we don't have to call them back because, sometimes these people call in, they might be hot and ready to go. They say, strike while the iron is
hot. Exactly.
There you go. So the iron's hot when they called the first time, okay, that's when we want to strike. So that's why we want to set up the appointment then and there on that first call, not have to call them back, because they may not be hot when you call them back. They may not even answer. May never talk to them again. There's no appointment. But we could always cancel the appointment if we don't want the appointment, but we can't get the appointment if we can't get a hold of them. So let's just do it, right?
Yeah, I've definitely seen that happen before. Like someone calls you, you call them back, and you just never hear from them again. You know, like maybe I don't know what they do, but they're busy. You know, so it's lost. And then
Exactly,
a lead could be worth a lot of money. You know, if it's the right person.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So next thing is market research and targeting. We got to analyze your area and break down the zip codes, the go and no go zip codes. We want to like basically look at areas. Like what I did when I first got started was took all my market, all the zip codes. I crossed off any of them that were really bad areas, like that were unsafe areas, and areas that were selling slowly, areas that don't that just aren't areas that I'd want to spend any time in, so the areas, the ones that have the bars on the windows, the ones where there's a lot of foot traffic, there's just nothing really there. There's no really nice shopping areas. There's no good jobs, things like that. Just the areas that are really ran down and unsafe. I just kind of stay away from those. So money is one thing, our lives are other things, another thing, and there are areas where you're risking your life to do business, and not only are you maybe it's just not worth it, right? So we can't get our lives back. We can always go find money somewhere else. So by doing that, I've been able to avoid having properties broken into. I've been able to make sure that my properties sell quickly. So most times when I put a property on the market, it's sold within a day or two. I mean, they go really fast because I buy them in areas that are in high demand. They also demand a high price. And so we've got we've always got lots of homeowners, or I guess buyers, that want to move into these areas. They want to take on these properties we have. So and then we want to build a list of properties that are high equity. So in the areas that are actually areas we want to work within, the ones that have lower days on market and have properties in the price points we're looking for, and also have a volume of sales that's going to support the potential of us getting properties in those areas. So we look at areas that are moving property at higher levels, not the ones that are moving at slow and low levels.
Okay, I like it. Yeah, gonna be targeted and focused. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, then the question, of course, becomes like for the higher end areas that everyone wants to be in, it's more competitive. So you're gonna have some sort of edge or something to like be able to get to those sellers and talk to them and get deals there.
Yeah, that's where the marketing comes in. So like we're not. I always say buy in private, sell in public. So if we can buy privately without without the public knowing that the house is even being sold, then we can have less competition. If we go to public auction to buy the house, there's a lot of competition, right, in those areas. But what if we look under a rock and find a seller who's hiding inside of their house and they want to just move it quickly with nobody knowing? Those ones that want to sell in secret. That's ideal, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
How much competition is there when we're sitting at the breakfast table with the seller and nobody else is even talking to
Hopefully not a lot, but yeah, that's basically just you.
Yeah, there you go. So then it's our deal to screw up, right? At that point, if we're sitting there with them competition, if we don't get that means we screwed something up, or they weren't serious. But yeah, so you can do this. You could build a list of properties, and a lot of people talk about doing this: probates, inherited properties, tax liens, absentee owners, free and clear, fire damage, code violation, divorce, and vacant. Now, I haven't really focused on those specifically when I do my marketing. I am open to all those situations, but I do marketing in a way that brings in all those without targeting any specific one. And by doing that, we're saying yes to everyone and not telling no. We're not saying no to everyone, but probates, right? We're not just looking at probates, because if we're just looking at probates, we're saying no to everyone else, right? So we even work with people who aren't on this list, who are just homeowners who just want to sell, that want to move and either downsize or move to a bigger house or move to another area, and they just don't want to fix their house up. So what we find in common our situation that's most common with all the sellers is that they have deferred maintenance. So they have some problems.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. Send mailers. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is send mailers to the properties. And that's one way to do it. So you could do marketing through direct mail. That's one way. We have multiple ways. I think in my program, we have like 8 different marketing strategies we utilize. This is the one though I used with Trace, because he wanted to get leads really fast and he just wanted to nail it. And so it got him those 3 deals within 60 days. He had 125,000 in profit. And this is the method we actually use with Trace. So we're going to send the mailers to properties, and we're not going to do this though. We're not going to sit around, and there's some common mistakes a lot of investors make. And one of them is that they sit around the kitchen table and they lick stamps and stuff envelopes themselves. And they use softwares and they get a free list to manage the marketing campaign. So don't do that. A lot of these free lists, have you ever heard about some of these softwares, Victor, where people are downloading the marketing lists and the lists end up being 2 and 3 years old, and they have basically, they keep getting people tell them that the property sold, they don't even own it anymore. They don't own the house anymore. They already sold it, you know?
I've seen that a lot, especially beginners caught up in the trap of free. And like, oh, free, it's free. It's not going to cost me anything. But then you don't get results. Like if you don't pay for something, you still have to pay for the mailers and you don't get results. Well, let's say you pay $1,000 and you don't get results, or you pay, $2,000 and you do get results. Like that's a big difference. Like I'd rather pay the $2,000 even though it's more. And that's what I'm seeing with these sorts. So you got to pay for quality.
Yeah. So we pay for the list one time a year. It's not a lot of money, but it's not free. But the other thing is that a lot of investors think that by them sitting around licking stamps, printing their own mail, addressing their own envelopes and stuffing them themselves, they're actually saving money, but it's actually costing them more because, not only do they have to buy the paper, they have to buy the stamp, they have to buy the printer ink, they have to sit there and they have to print the stuff out and spend their time, and they have to do all the folding and stuffing and licking. And that time and money, not even the time, just the money they spend on that is more than it costs us to send out our direct mail. And the way we do it is, we use a way of doing it that costs less than the cost of the stamp alone. So our mail is printed and delivered for less than the cost of the stamp.
That's crazy. So do you guys have, because I know a lot of people like teach direct mail, and it's pretty saturated nowadays. So do you have like a unique mailer, like a unique piece of mail that you send out to them that works? Like even, because I know I've talked to a lot of homeowners and like I get a postcard, I get 10 postcards a month, like people trying to buy my house. So do you have like a unique angle or something?
Yeah, and one part of it is, a lot of these, a lot of other investors, they're focusing on one of these niches. So they'll pick one of these and they'll hammer those. So like I said, we're not doing this. We're not hitting the same list a lot of the investors are doing. We're not going through the software and using those lists either. But what we're doing, is also using, definitely also using a piece of mail with the copy on it that's going to be highly, highly persuasive. So it's going to catch and get them to want to do business, reach out. So. Yeah, I mean, I've had months where, I put out a mail campaign and get 4 or 5 deals from it. So it does work.
Wow.
And now some areas may be easier than others to do the mailing. It just depends. But so like here's an example too, is like I said, Trace was the one that this case study was kind of based off of. And he said, I posted in one of the questions in my group a while back, and they said, what's the biggest thing holding you back in your real estate investing business? And Trace said, it was finding deals, but our marketing campaign that he set up with me, Chad Lauer, is working, and solid deals were coming through. So his biggest problem was finding deals, and we solved that. And now last year he did about, I think in 2020, he said he was involved in 20 deals, and he sold 10 of them, and it made him $500,000. So he still had the other 10 left. Yeah. So now he's going around 50,000 per house on the profit margins. It's pretty cool. Or I think he was making 20,000 a house before we start doing it this way, and he was only getting 2 deals a year. So it's a game changer,
That's 10x his income. That's crazy.
Another strategy we like to use, and Justin, you saw in the video earlier, he uses only a newspaper strategy that I teach in my program as well. And he just got a big check. This was November 4th, 2020 for 153,000. And then he got another check for 128,000 on November 12th, 2020.
Yeah.
There's the checks right there. So
$250,000. Yeah.
$250,000 on 2 deals in 8 days. He spent more time than 8 days, but he got those 2 checks 8 days apart. Nice, right? Yeah. Never thought of it that way. $250,000. That's a good way to look at it. So right here's another post I put in the group, and I asked who's got deals working now. You're either in contract to buy, rehabbing, or selling. We got 59 comments on that post these are from my mastermind members, and Justin posted in there his update, and this was after the end of the first year working together using the newspaper strategy. And he said he's under contract to sell a rehab next Tuesday, under contract to sell a wholesale deal the first week of January, staging a JV rehab next week. We have a completed condo rehab that we're getting ready to list, but the next door neighbor's wanting to buy it before we list it. We have a rehab just started trash out this week, and we have 2 wholesales closing in the next 45 days.
Wow.
And that was the end of his first year working with me. The year before he also had only ever bought 2 houses, and he'd been in another coaching program. He'd spent $40,000 on credit cards. He didn't have money on marketing that didn't work. He wasted 40,000 in marketing that didn't work. And then he said, Chad, if we can't make this thing work, if I can't make this work, I've got to go back to work for a construction company in a job I hate. Like we talked about earlier, that was his reality. And I was nervous. I was like, well, I sure hope we can make this work. I hope, Justin, you will show up and do the work. I know what I teach works, but I need you to show up and do the work. And I didn't know if he would, but he did. He's, this has been a few years now that we've been working together, and he's still doing real estate now full time. And he gets, at the end of the year one, he had 9 deals going in play simultaneously. And
That's
he
huge.
generally does, 15 deals a year. So it's not too bad. He's pretty happy with it. So
it's not bad at all. That's really good, actually.
yeah.
Good for him.
So then, Justin was just talking about some of his other deals a little while back on one of our masterminds a few weeks ago. And he said he's got a projected profit on one deal he's taken down for 60 to 70,000. He had 11 or 12 deals in 2020. Another deal he was doing at the same time was a purchase price of 346. The only thing he did to the house was cleaned it for $200, and he sold it for $441. Yep, $200 was the rehab was $200 cleaning bill. And so that made him a $42,000 profit. Seems like he would have made more. Maybe there's a big realtor fee or something like that in there.
Yeah, that is interesting. It should be a lot higher. Whatever, but yeah.
I didn't run the numbers, but yeah. So yeah, maybe he split it with his money partner. I don't know.
Yeah.
So another thing we do is we help our investors with Google search engine optimization. This is the results for one of our members who's in Pennsylvania, and he's number 1, number 2 in most every keyword we're tracking right now, except for a few we need to do a little bit of work on. But it's like we buy houses in Westchester. He's number 1. There's like 27 million results. He's number 1. Sell my house fast in Westchester, PA, number 2. Cash home buyers in Westchester, number 2. Stop foreclosure in Westchester, number 1. Look on down the list. Everything's mostly number 1s, number 2s. A couple of them aren't ranking yet, but we'll get that fixed. And so organic online lead generation is another thing that we do. And like Michael here, that was his website, search engine optimization results. And so he just got a deal from our organic marketing, and one of them 70K purchase price, $35,000 rehab. He sold it for 185, and he got 52,000 back at closing. Projected profit on the next deal, another one he just got from the website, was 75,000. Construction profit of 15,000, so $90,000 total profit. So he's a construction guy. He does like remodels, and this seller had a tree fall on the house. And so prior to closing, she filed a claim with the insurance, and he was able to actually do the work on the house he was buying and get paid to do the work, and made $15,000 by collecting the insurance proceeds and completing the roof repairs. And then once the work was done, then he was able to buy the house, and he gets to benefit from all the work that the insurance company just paid. So new siding, new roof, I think the deck got replaced or rebuilt, something on the deck got done, and it basically had a new exterior now. So now the house is even more valuable when he buys it, and he didn't have to pay extra for it. He got paid to buy it, right? So
that's crazy. That is so crazy. Especially, I like the organic stuff because I've had success there as well. And it's basically free. I mean, you got to pay a little bit to run host your website, but it's free, and you can't beat free.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so introducing our, I'll tell you about our program now. We have a program, and we have a Facebook group called 7-Figure Real Estate Investors, and leads, deals, and marketing system for Facebook group. So you can go there if you'd like to join our Facebook group. And I don't know if Victor, you could tag that in the comments.
Yeah, I'll make sure to drop the link. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so the link in the comments. If it's not there now, Victor will place it there at some point. Facebook.com/groups/Chad Lauer Real Estate Investing. And so, yeah, but you can also just search on the Facebook search under groups for 7-figure. I think you have to put the hyphen in there. 7-figure real estate investors. Make sure you put the hyphen in there, because I think you might not find it otherwise. Next thing. So in our house buying masters program, we have a mentoring program where we have several strategies. And the first one, we help you find more profitable investment deals. And most investors, I think, would want that. They want to if you could increase the profit margins on the deals you're buying, that just makes you more money. You can do less deals, make more money. So we can get less busy and make more. We also help you get more motivated seller leads, which is how we help Justin and Trace and Michael and those guys get those deals that we were showing you in the case study.
Mhm.
We also, now strategy number 3, we make it easy to get sellers calling you, begging you to buy the property, just like Justin was talking about earlier. So if you want that same scenario set up in your business, we can help you do that. Strategy number 4, we give you the systems you need to put your marketing on autopilot. So those systems we do, it helps you to put marketing systems in place. They're going to bring you leads without a lot of effort. So some of our marketing strategies take 5 minutes a month to manage, and that's about it. And you can get leads and deals. Some of them you might mess with even less than that, so. And also strategy number 5, we avoid wasting time on cold calling or searching the MLS, because we don't do that at all. So if you're tired of wasting time cold calling or searching the MLS, then we should talk about our House Buying Masters Mentorship Program.
That's really cool. Oh, okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Strategy number 6, we give you the real secrets for building wealth in real estate investing in record time. So really ramp up and scale up the time really reduce the amount of time it takes to generate deals and leads and profits, really. So number 7 is how to raise money to purchase investment properties without having to use your own cash or credit. Some people I work with don't have good credit, and I can tell you this, that over the last 7, 8 years, how many years, I lose track, 9 years, 8 years of me being in the real estate investing business. When I work with my private lenders, which is the majority of what I do to buy houses, I don't ever have a credit check. They don't ever pull my credit. So, and I don't use my own cash. I actually get money back at closing when I buy houses. I don't have to pay money. I get money. So that's the good thing. So strategy number 8 is effortlessly uncover the deals before the realtors and wholesalers find them. So we want to get to the deals before the realtors and wholesalers do. And that's what we show you how to do. Strategy number 10. Okay, I guess I skipped number 9 and 11.
Yeah, so, 9, 11. Yeah, that's okay.
Those are super secret. So if you want to know what they are, then you'll have to hop on a call with me. So, and we'll tell you what number 9 and 11 are. I'm just kidding, but yeah, I'll think of something to tell you. But yeah, I guess I have a typo. So number 10, or actually number 9, discover the path to financial freedom so you can leave a legacy for your family. We have a roadmap that I'll give you as well. If you want to hop on a call, I have a real estate investor financial freedom roadmap that I'll share with you, and it gives you those different steps you can take to really make sure you have all the strategies you should be focusing on to build financial freedom, so you can leave that legacy with your family. And that's what a lot of people want to do. Is the reason why they tell me they want to get in real estate investing is so they can, have a business that's set up, and maybe they can pass it on to their kids and grandkids and have it take care of them for years. Number 12, stop worrying about how you're going to pay for properties, even if you need to raise over $1 million in just a few weeks. And I've actually had that happen before, where I had my sales guys, and they said, so how much money do I need to raise? Well, we need $1.4 million. And I said, well, by when? We need it by next Wednesday. Oh, I didn't have $1.5 million in private lenders lined up, but I had to find them, and I had to get it secured quick, and I did it.
You did it? Okay, cool. How many houses was that?
I don't remember, probably 7 or 8, probably. I don't know. I mean, our houses sometimes are, they're like maybe 100, 150,000, 200,000. So, and then the rehab, it probably is 4 or 5. I don't know. I can't remember. I'll have to look.
Well, good problem to have. I mean, I think a lot of people would be very happy to have that many deals,
Yeah. But it's kind of stressful. So you have to have systems in place, and you have to have a process in place to be able to do that quickly and not screw up.
I like it.
And so I know Victor, he introduced me earlier. By the way, my name is Chad Lauer, and by now you're probably asking, who am I and how can I make all these claims? And, here's why I can make these promises to you. And I've spent almost 8 years as a real estate investor, as I mentioned before, and, bought a ton of properties, and all directly from motivated sellers. I never buy them from realtors or wholesalers, and I don't buy them at auctions, always from motivated sellers, typically at the breakfast table, lunch table. I've personally taught over 100 other real estate investors all over the country to do this successfully in my House Buying Masters program. And I've bought, rehabbed, and fixed and flipped and wholesaled and rented tens of millions of dollars in properties. And I know what can go wrong and how to prevent it. So, I've been working with and have influenced thousands of investors since 2015 through social media. But don't just take my word for it. Like, we've got a lot of testimonials you can check out as well. If you go to chadlauer.com/case studies, and you saw a few of them on here already, but we have a bunch of videos of other members we've helped, and Facebook posts and things like that they've made. And you can also, if you like, I know some people like data, charts, and Victor's
That's me.
Yeah, you're a data guy. You used to be you went to school for what, bio
I'm
engineering?
bioengineering. I dropped out though, so that's
Yeah, but that's
I'm
still,
only half engineer.
yeah, but you got that mind, I think, probably, or otherwise you wouldn't have went there. But yeah, so for our engineer and our accountants and our attorneys and all of our analytical people, here's a chart for you. So for like we talked about earlier, every time you go out and meet with an agent to put in an offer on a property, or you just do this blindly from your office by scouring the MLS, 50 offers to get one deal. So 50 offers here to get one deal. And profit margins, a lot of times, I mean, what would you say they are, Victor? Would you say 20,000, 30,000?
For an MLS deal, probably, yeah. And you might be doing some of the work yourself, honestly, to make that 20K.
Yeah. So like maybe you'll get 20,000 by making 50 offers. When we do it my way through working directly with motivated sellers and doing our marketing, if we make 10 offers on properties, we're buying 9 of them. We'll close on 9 of them. And we'll make 50,000 per house instead of, on average about 50,000 per house. So our profit margins go way up. So now you've got scale and you've got higher profit margin. So we can scale, we increase the margin and we scale the quantity of deals. So now we've got, instead of $20,000, we've got, what's 9 times 50? What? A lot more, $450,000 right there, right? So
a lot of money. That's crazy.
Yeah, and with lockdown, social distancing, meeting with investor, is more attractive option now than having an open house, showings, and agents. With everyone talking about social distancing and all that, who wants to have 50 people walking through the house to look at it and potentially spreading the virus? And it just makes more sense now. It's even more valid, the argument of, hey, we just sell it to us. You don't have to have open house or showings, no COVID in your house, all that. Just work with us. And then we move on over here. Technology is even making it easier. And most people now have used things like Zoom and DocuSign. And before, if you tell someone, hey, let's do a Zoom meeting, or I'll DocuSign you the contract. They didn't really know what that was. But now, with this, it just makes more sense. Yeah, we can do that. It makes sense. I mean, like one of my investors I work with, he's I think he's like 79 or 80. And he went to church on Zoom during the pandemic, but prior to that, he didn't even know he never knew what Zoom was, so
really,
a lot more people are exposed to that now. So if you want to have virtual meetings with sellers, you can do that. And so the step-by-step instructions on how to start generating motivated seller leads and deals. With our house buying masters program, exactly what we focus on is, step-by-step instructions on how I made my first 100K using online marketing, how I helped Trace buy his first 3 properties using direct mail, learn how Justin got his first 3 deals and 175,000 in projected profit using newspaper ads, how to use social media ads and funnels to purchase properties directly from motivated sellers, and the script I use when talking to motivated sellers on the first contact to make sure we're
that's cool.
The right questions. So we're asking the right questions so we get the right information so we know whether or not we should be considering a deal or not, whether it even looks like a deal. So, you can go ahead and get on board with our 7-figure real estate investing Facebook group. And that's the first step really to getting involved. And then, from there, we can talk about maybe setting up a time to chat and looking at your business, your goals, and what kind of things you've been struggling with, what problems you need to solve, and really why you're even doing this. Like why are you even focusing on real estate to begin with? Like, what is it going to allow you to do? And if we can put it all together, then maybe we could come up with a plan that would help you really grow and scale that business much quicker. So if you want to, purchase deeply discounted properties without the MLS and avoid all the middlemen, and you want the freedom of time and to really get your financial freedom started, then what we want to do is go ahead and join our Facebook group. And again, it's facebook.com/groups, Chad Lauer Real Estate Investing, or 7-figure real estate investors. Just search that as well, or check the link below where Victor's going to drop it. And I mean, that's pretty much all I have there. So I don't know, Victor, if you have anything you want to add or questions you have or anything like that.
I think that's pretty much it. The link is below, so we're good to go there. So you can check it out. And yeah, I think I really appreciate you hopping on here. I really like your perspective because it's so unique with a lot of people. Like some of these other programs, they're like, okay, cool. You want to be a real estate investor? Okay, get a realtor. Start looking on the MLS. And it's exactly, I've seen that same number before. It's like 1 out of 50 offers becomes a deal. And that's a lot. And that's on average. So it might be number 42 that hits. It might be number 76 that hits. And that's a lot of offers. And I know a lot of people would give up, because that's 1 a week for a year. So a lot of people have trouble, going to the gym for a month and going twice a week, let alone, an offer a week for a whole year.
I'll tell you
So
what,
it's
I
one of,
mean,
yeah.
another thing is, like you mentioned, I mean, you go pay this guru, he's going to tell you all the secrets of how to buy and flip houses. And he's like, oh, well, just go get a realtor and go look on the MLS. I'm like, shit, I knew that. I already knew that. Like, why do I need to pay you to tell me that?
Yeah.
Right. It's like, that's not a secret. Like, everyone knows that.
I think the biggest thing when like choosing a mentor really comes down to two things. Like, are they out there doing it? Like, have they done it themselves? Is really key, because there are a lot of gurus who like they just kind of posture, they've never done it themselves. You need to be careful of that. Like if you were learning how to skydive, like you'd want to learn from someone who's skydived before. Like you don't want to learn from someone who's read from a book. That's the first thing to look for a mentor. Second thing is like, what's their track record for teaching? Like if they're able to, it's one thing to do it yourself, like the skydiving, but if you can't, teach someone else how to do it, like, hey, pull the chute, do this, arch your body, whatever. I've only gone skydiving once, if you can tell, so I'm not an expert. But I think the biggest thing is like someone who can teach us. So you got to look at the track record, the case studies. You got, Trace there, you got Justin, you got a couple other people sharing. They got, big deals, big 100,000 plus profit deals. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, another thing I like to mention too is like, a lot of sometimes people think, well, I'll just figure it out on my own. Like I'll just go out there and I'll buy some houses and I'll fix and flip them, and then hopefully I make money and it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. And that's the thing. Like would you go out and rent an airplane and go on your lunch break and learn to fly it on your own, or would you hire some to teach you so you come back sleeping alive? And we're not talking about really losing our lives, although some people do over money. But it's like we're talking about our financial health, right? So it's to some people even more important than their physical health, which it shouldn't be, but it is for some people. So like, would you really risk your financial health and well-being by trying to figure this out on your own when you could potentially crash on the side of a mountain and catastrophic, right? So that's the whole reason why. I mean, we want to go out and look for someone like you mentioned before, who's done this, who's been where you want to go and has helped other people get to where you want to be.
Yeah.
And if they can, then if it worked for them, it ought to work for you as well if you're willing to show up and do the work. But these aren't get quick schemes. It's not a push button, plug and play. It's not like a push button business where you just buy into a program and you all of a sudden have a bunch of money coming your way. You've got to do the work. So it's definitely something you have to be committed to. And if you're already doing this, you just need a better way, then that's where I can help you. If not me, maybe Victor would help you as well. So if you're trying to get your first deal and you're really new to real estate investing, that's what Victor likes to do, is he helps beginners do that. So yeah, we're here to help you.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it. So the link is below. We're good to go there. But yeah, I do very much appreciate you hopping on here, Chad, sharing your story, sharing how you do it. I think when I met you, like your whole approach is just unique. Like nobody else is out there doing what you're doing. So that's it's key. So I appreciate you having you on.
Yep, awesome. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Victor. I appreciate you as well, and look forward to meeting some of the folks that see the video. So
awesome. Appreciate it.